Come with us as we explore Andalusia, the most vibrant region in southern Spain. This year, my partner and I planned on exploring more of Spain. And 2 weeks ago, just last month, we went to Andalusia, southern Spain, and spent a week there, or 8 days to be exact. We explored four cities: Sevilla, Córdoba, Granada, and Málaga. This was our first trip for this year, and we have 5 more to go. In this video, we included ways to get around, hotels we've stayed at, highlights in each city, countless tapas we ate, how much we spent for the entire trip, including all flights, trains, and accommodations, and travel tips that might just be useful for you. So yeah, stick around. But first, what makes Andalusia special and worth visiting? Andalusia is one of those magical places that seems to have a little bit of everything and does it all really well. Here's what makes it stand out and totally worth a visit. First, it's a melting pot of civilizations. The Romans, Moors, and Christians all left their mark. Second, flamenco was born here, so just imagine the music, dancing, and soul. Third, tapas culture is a lifestyle here. You can expect to get free tapas with your drink in many places, especially in Granada. Fourth, Andalusians are known to be warm, fun, and full of life. Fifth, this region's got the rhythm. Something about Andalusia encourages you to slow down. Siestas aren't just tradition, they make so much sense. And life here feels fuller, not faster. Sixth, this region gets more than 300 days of sunshine a year, so if you're chasing the sun, then this is the place. And as a bonus, eating out is much cheaper here than in Madrid or Barcelona. So if you're into history, nature, beaches, food, or just good vibes, Andalusia delivers. Now let's talk about means of transportation. For this trip, considering this is our first time together in Andalusia, we chose to utilize public transportation to move around instead of renting a car. Spain really has an efficient public transport system, making it convenient for tourists. Renting a car can sometimes be a hassle for us because we'd have to consider parking spaces, and navigation can be challenging, especially if you're new to the place. So from Barcelona, we took a flight to Sevilla. The flight was less than 2 hours. After spending 2 nights in Sevilla, we took a train to Córdoba, which took 35 minutes. 2 nights later, we took another train from Córdoba to Granada, which lasted for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And after spending 2 nights in Granada, we took our last train to Málaga. The train ride lasted 1 hour. We only spent a night in Málaga and then flew back to Barcelona. If we included Cadiz or Ronda on this trip, we would have rented a car because it's more convenient and faster. Now for the cost, the flights for 2 persons, we spent around 198 euros, and the 3 intercity train rides for 2 persons cost us 155 euros. Once we're in the city, we either took a bus or metro to get around, but since our hotels were located in the city center, everything was within walking distance. We only needed to take a bus or metro to the train station to go to our next destination, or to go to our hotel from the train station or airport. All in all, we spent 35 euros for 2 persons for all the bus and metro rides we took. Now let's talk hotels. For choosing hotels, we have these criteria. First is location. It must be located in the city center. Second, it should have a booking.com rating of 8 and above. Third, a private bathroom is a must. We cannot do a shared bathroom. And fourth, it has to be reasonably priced. Our average budget for a hotel here in Europe is around 100 to 120 euros per night, depending on the city or country and the season. If we are in Switzerland, for instance, our hotel budget will be significantly higher. And since spring has just started, it's still considered off-season, but once Semana Santa starts, expect prices to go up drastically. Autumn is also considered off-season or shoulder season. Here are the hotels we stayed at in Andalusia. In Sevilla, we stayed at Hotel Doña Blanca. We spent 94.50 per night and stayed for 2 nights. In Córdoba, we stayed at Hospedería Los Ángeles, spent 54.50 per night and stayed for 2 nights. In Granada, we stayed at Hostal Rodri, spent 49.50 per night and stayed for 2 nights. And in Málaga, we stayed at Hostal Larios and spent 79.2 per night and stayed for a night. Now, here's a tip. The check-in time for all these hotels is at 2 p.m. and the checkout time is at 12 noon. All trains to our next destination were scheduled sometime between 1 to 1:30 p.m., which meant we had an hour to go to the train station, and upon arriving in the next city, it was time for us to check in. We timed it perfectly so we didn't have a long waiting time at the train station. The total money we spent on accommodations was around 476 euros. Let's talk about the highlights in each city, but first take note that these are based on our own experience. First stop in Sevilla, Plaza de España and Parque Maria Luisa. The Plaza de España is one of Spain's most iconic landmarks. It's massive, semicircular, and covered in colorful ceramic tiles called azulejos. Each tiled alcove represents a Spanish province. It's a beautiful walk and a cultural tour. You can even rent a rowboat in the canal. Imagine, how often do you get to boat around the plaza? Each boat ride costs 6 euros for 30 minutes. Or you can also go on a horse carriage ride for 45 euros for 30 minutes. Right next door is Parque Maria Luisa, a lush, shady park with fountains, exotic trees, and little corners to relax. Perfect break from the heat and the crowds. This park is big, so we decided to rent a bark from Cyclotour and paid 15 euros for a two-person bike for 30 minutes. The entrance fee for both the plaza and the park is free. Next is the Setas de Sevilla. Locally called the Mushrooms, this ultra-modern wooden structure stands out in the heart of the old town. It offers 360-degree panoramic views from the top, best at sunset. The design is wild and totally unexpected in such a historic city. A great example of Sevilla blending the old with the new. The entrance fee is 16 euros for the general ticket. Spanish nationals and residents only pay half or 8 euros. We now go to Córdoba. First is the Mezquita Cathedral. This place is a masterpiece of religious and cultural fusion. Originally a mosque, then a cathedral was built inside it. Famous for its endless forest of red and white arches, it's one of the most unique religious buildings in the world. You're literally walking through centuries of history in one building. Entrance fee per person is 17 euros. Next is the Patios de Córdoba. Córdoba is famous for its patio culture. Interior courtyards bursting with colorful flowers, fountains, and intricate tiles. The patio festival in May is legendary, but many patios are open to visitors year-round. It's like stepping into a secret garden, peaceful, fragrant, and totally Instagrammable. Entrance fee per person is 6.50 for 5 patios. Next stop, Granada. We all know the Alhambra, specifically the Palacio Navaris, or the heart of the Alhambra and one of the finest examples of Islamic art and architecture in Europe. The level of detail, the Arabic calligraphy, intricate tile mosaics is mind-blowing. Every courtyard, every arc, every pool feels like it's whispering a piece of history. Entrance fee is 19 euros per person. And then there's the Generalife Gardens. Once the summer retreat for Moorish royalty, these gardens are designed for tranquility. Think fountains, cypress trees, rose gardens, and mountain views. A peaceful counterbalance to the grandeur of the palace. The layout and irrigation system are genius. These guys really knew how to build a paradise. Entrance fee, it's included in the Alhambra ticket. Last stop, Málaga, and first on the list, the Mirador de la Coracha, a scenic lookout point that offers stunning panoramic views of Málaga City, the Alcazaba, and the harbor, especially magical at sunrise or sunset when the city glows golden. Bonus, it's a peaceful spot not too overrun with tourists, and the entrance is free. Lastly, the El Tintero, a legendary seaside restaurant in El Palo, just outside central Malaga, known for its unique serving style where waiters walk around shouting out dishes and you grab what you want. No menus, just good vibes and super fresh seafood. You'll feel like a local. It's loud, fun, delicious, and very Andalusian. A meal for two costs us 67 euros and 50 cents. These spots aren't just beautiful. They each represent a different flavor of Andalusia, from Moorish palaces and floral patios to cutting-edge design and beachside food experiences. Visiting them helps you feel the soul of the region and not just see it. Let's now go to our favorite part, the food. Our main motivation for traveling is food, and Andalusian cuisine is more than just food. It's a sensory journey through centuries of culture, conquest, and creativity, and every bite tells a story. As much as possible, we like to try local restaurants and local delicacies, and on this trip, we did just that. We ate so much tapas but not everything was great, which is normal. Here are highly recommended tapas bars in each city. In Sevilla, we have the Bar Santa Cruz Las Columnas. A meal for two costs us 25 euros and 70 cents. In Córdoba, we have the Moriles Bar. A meal for two costs us 32 euros and 95 cents. In Granada, we have the Cisco y Tierra Bar, and a meal for two costs us 42 euros and 60 cents. And in Málaga, we have the El Pimpi Bar, and a meal for two costs us 36 euros and 10 cents. We ate tapas in all these restaurants and drank vermouth and cerveza. As for the tapas, here are our favorites. First on the list, the salmorejo, a cooler cousin of gazpacho. It is a creamy, chilled tomato soup originating from Córdoba. Blended with stale bread, olive oil, garlic, and ripe tomatoes, it's velvety and rich. Garnished with hard-boiled eggs and jamon iberico, it's the perfect balance of tang and umami, ideal on a warm Andalusian afternoon. Next, the calamares. Fried calamari is a staple across Spain, but Andalusia does it with a no-fuss, seaside crispness that makes it irresistible. Lightly battered and fried to golden perfection, calamares fritos are best enjoyed with a squeeze of lemon and a cold beer by the coast. Third on the list, the berenjena con miel de caña. This dish is a sweet and savory revelation. Sliced eggplant is deep fried until golden and crispy, then drizzled with miel de caña, a thick dark sugarcane syrup not to be confused with honey. The contrast between the salty crunch and the molasses-like sweetness is pure magic. Fourth on the list, the rabo de toro, a slow-cooked oxtail stew that dates back to Roman times. This dish is the kind of dish that warms your soul. The meat is braised until falling off the bone, typically in a rich sauce of red wine, garlic, and spices. Hearty and deeply flavorful, it's a must-try in Córdoba and Granada. Next, the callos de Malagueña. Callos is Spain's answer to tripe stew, and Malaga gives it its own local twist. Often cooked with chickpeas, chorizo, and paprika, the dish is smoky, spicy, and deeply satisfying. Not for the faint of heart, but incredibly rewarding if you're feeling adventurous. And lastly, we have the espeto and the pulpo from El Tintero. No Andalusian coastal experience is complete without espetos. Sardines skewered on a stick and grilled over open flame, usually right on the beach. Simple, smoky, and salty from the sea breeze. Pair it with tender pulpo a la gallega, which is lightly seasoned with paprika and olive oil. I'm going to make a separate video just for the restaurants we ate at because we went to approximately 17 restaurants on this trip. Now that you have an idea of ways to get around, where to stay, places to visit, and what to eat, here are some useful travel tips. First, don't blindly trust Google reviews. Instead, go for crowded spots with locals. Second, tapas are a lifestyle. Tapas bars beat restaurants for price and flavor. Third, timing is key. Book your train tickets to coincide with hotel check-in and check-out times to minimize long waiting times. Fourth, spring is probably the best time to visit if you want to avoid the crowds. The weather is not too hot and not too cold either, but it could be rainy. Fifth, planning is crucial. Book tickets in advance to famous tourist spots because they can almost always be sold out. Sixth, choose wisely. When looking for a hotel, choose the ones located in the center because it will save you time and you won't have to take as many bus rides. Seventh, always carry some cash. Buses and smaller stores sometimes don't accept card payments. Eighth, walk a lot, then walk some more, and always stay hydrated. Ninth, layer up. Andalusian weather in early spring can be unpredictable. 10th, don't skip local parks or the Mirador. They are underrated and they're free. 11th, rest when needed. Long days plus a lot of walking equals exhaustion. Midday breaks help a lot. And lastly, when traveling with your partner, take your fights lightly. Hopefully, you can just laugh about them later. So, how much did we spend on a week-long trip to Andalusia? Total spend, including flights, trains, accommodation, places we visited, restaurants we ate at, etc. for two persons, was around 1,900 euros. Average daily spend per person was around 120 euros. But wait, there's more. Total steps we've taken, probably a million. Total tapas eaten, too many to count. Total vermouth, sangria, and cerveza drank, too many to remember. And total pastel de nata and ice cream eaten, not enough. We were able to track all the places we visited, the hotels, restaurants, how much we spent, etc. using the Kofio app, your ultimate travel journal app. Indeed, Andalusia enchanted us with its contrast between mountain and sea, history and futuristic vibes, bustle and peace. It's a place that invites you to slow down, soak it in, and come back for more. Until next time, Andalusia, we will be back for sure. And that's it. If you found this simple travel guide helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Catch us again in our next adventure. Hasta luego!